Hello everyone. The topic of this video is projection of local history in literature. Myself Dipanjali Karvari Borse, Assistant Professor working at SPH Mahila Mahavidyalaya Malegaon camp. Literature is called as the mirror of life. The author delineates his history with the help of the history of that particular area or of his contemporary atmosphere. He projects the local history in his work of art. In literature, local history fictionally refers to fiction or poetry that focuses on specific features, including characters, dialects, customs, history, and topography of a particular region or locality. The interest in local as opposed to universal literature was an outgrowth of the Romantic movement. Local history is the study of history in a geographically local context, and it often concentrates on the local community. It incorporates cultural and social aspects of history. Most of the authors used their native places in their fictional works and represent the cultural and social aspects of their society. Local history preserves the past in order to prepare for the future. Here, geog- geography Chaucer, who has considered as the father of English literature, he has been rightly acclaimed as the most representative poet of his age. He has given the picture of the 14th century society through the portraits of his pilgrims. These pilgrims in the prologue constitute a picture of the society of his times. We get much help to write a social history of England in the 14th century. In those days, people did not go off to spend holidays, that means go now. There were no popular seaside towns or inland wandering places, neither were holiday excursions. They went on pilgrimages. They went on journeys to the holy places. These pilgrims included all ranks of society, beginning with a knight up to the plowman. Chaucer represented here his 14th century society of England. The pilgrims in the prologue can be classified into three groups, which throw a lot of light on the social structure of England in the 14th century. The first group is formed by the persons concerned with farming. This group represents agricultural feudalism based on the land ownership and service to the king and the country. The second group represents the growth of a new urban society which had come into existence in the 14th century. This group is that of city people and stands for urbanization process. The third group is made by the church people and it stands for the church itself. When we peep in Shakespeare's work of art to have a glimpse over his plays, particularly the tragedies, we came to know that he presented the local history of his times. His age was suffered from cruelty, superstitions, bear baiting, public floggings, beastliness, and executions. The poor Dr. Lopez, a Portuguese Jew, the personal physician to the Queen Elizabeth, was hanged, drawn, and quartered at Tyburn in public on 7 June 1594. He was accused of being in correspondence with Spain about a plot to poison the Queen. Here we can see this local history into the plays of William Shakespeare like King Lear in Macbeth, Othello, and also the superstitious views are expressed through these three witches which are we see in Shakespeare's Macbeth. Then the next author is Chinua Achebe. Things Fall Apart describes the local history of the Igbo man, their language or dialect, garments, festivals, religion, occupations, different works or trades, customs, habits and superstitions, family patterns, nature, etc. These Igbo people are primitive and ignorant, not literate but not totally wild and uncivilized. Their customs, behavioral patterns, thoughts, social setup, and agricultural activities show that they are civilized but they are not cultured. Since they have not come in contact with modern culture of the European world, it is quite natural that they remain simple tribes and clansmen. However, they are not nomads. They have chosen regions to settle in and have established their homes and agriculture there. They have their Igbo language. They are quite religious and very superstitious people. Here, the picture of a obi, that means the hut of Igbo people, can shown on the screen. These are also the images of Igbo culture. The English author Thomas Hardy set all his major novels in the south and southwest of England. He named the area Wessex after the medieval Anglo-Saxon kingdom that existed in this part of that country prior to the Norman conquest. At the beginning of Hardy's literary career, Wessex was the small area of Dorset in which Hardy grew up. By the time he wrote Jude the Obscure, the boundaries had extended to include all of Dorset, Wiltshire, Somerset, Devon, Hampshire, Berkshire, and some of Oxfordshire. Wessex is that particular area through which Hardy expressed the locality, manners, and professions of the people. Wessex plays an important role in Hardy's works, assisting the presentation of themes of progress, primitivism, sexuality, religion, nature, and naturalism. Hardy's resurrection of the name Wessex is largely responsible for the popular modern use of the term to describe the southwest region of England today. A panoply of organizations take their name from Hardy to describe their relationship to this area. In the same way, the novel Pride and Prejudice, published in 1813 by Jane Austen, is the story of the main character Elizabeth Bennet as she deals with the issues of manners, upbringings, morality, education, and marriage in the society of the landed gentry of early 19th century England. The next author is R.K. Narayan and his Malgudi Days. An author describes the historical events in their literary works with the fusion of fancy and imagination. The great Indian author R.K. Narayan is popular because of his Malgudi, a semi-urban town in southern India. Malgudi evolved with the changing political landscape of India. In the 1980s, when the nationalistic fervor in India dictated the changing of British name of town and localities and removal of British landmarks, Malgudi's mayor and city council removed the long-standing statue of Frederick Lawney, one of Malgudi's early residents. R.K. Narayan also employed the use of Tamil overtones based on the nature of his characters. The book contains his personal perspective on the local history and heritage. Then, in Kantapura, there are Brahmin quarters, Shudra quarters, and Pariya quarters. Kantapura portrayed the participation of a small village of South India in the national struggle. Kantapura is the novel written by Raja Rao. It is a fictional but realistic account of how the great majority of people in India lived their lives under British rule and how they responded to the ideas and ideals of Indian nationalism. So, here we can say that the involvement of local history in literature creates an artistic as well as historic literary works. The literary masters elaborate the reason with the help of fancy and imagination. Mere imagination will make the literature false and it will lose its intellectuality. Most of the writers like John Milton, John Dryden, Alexander Pope, and Charles Dickens are called as the representatives of their age because they reflected their society with its historical records and make their writings immortal in the field of literature. It clearly reveals that local history plays a significant role in the creation of a literary work. Thank you.